Yes.
Let's do it. Finish off the week. Hang on. Stand by. We've got a little bit of winter, a little bit of summer, and maybe not exactly a little bit of severe weather going on tonight across the upper Midwest and parts of the lower Ohio Valley. All of this setting up the heat and eventual humidity that is coming to the east this weekend. All that and more tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather
And Joe
Show.
Weather Show.
Brought to you by,
Yes.
brought to you by
Oh, brought to you
Dicker,
by who?
Dicker and
And
Dicker
Dicker and Dicker,
of Beverly
Beverly Hills.
Hills. I was thinking, it's funny. Every once in a while, I'll be in the most random place, and that Kenny Williams voice pops into my head from the Hollywood Squares, and I'll just all of a sudden I'll start thinking of Dicker and Dicker of Beverly Hills. Oh, good God! For those of you who don't know, on the Hollywood Squares back in the '60s and '70s, when it was hosted by Peter Marshall, and I actually went to high school with his cousin. Um, uh, I forgot her name. I can see her in front of me, but I forgot her name. Anyway, Kenny Williams was the announcer. One of their sponsors was a furrier, and the furrier, and it was the name of the company was Dicker and Dicker. So they would always, when you're too young to understand what that really, what the double entendre is. That's that's what that's about. So anyway,
Match Game was full of those.
oh yeah, that's what made it great. That's what
Yeah.
made it great when you get Charles Nelson Riley and with some of his answers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I knew I spoke too soon with regards to the Memorial Day weekend because lo and behold, it went from having all the models showing about the same thing with the ridge to the east. Now all the models are showing, each one shows something uh, almost immediately. Joe, last night the GFS changed to this disaster for the Memorial Day weekend. And then the other two models, the European was kind of holding on to the ridge in the east idea, and now that's changed into something completely different from the GFS, which is somewhat different from the Canadian. So bottom line is, you know what? Since all three of them are different, I'm just going to stick with what I said from the onset, and let's see what happens over the next couple of days. But this is why I don't like to overstep the short and medium range because it can be quite dangerous as far as nailing that forecast correctly.
Indeed, you have to sometimes be careful because sometimes what seems to be in the bag, well, sometimes the bag tends to break, and this may be one of those situations.
Or it's filled with gas.
Yes, yes.
All right. Big hellos to everybody on the chat board. Ruthless Goat is on. I haven't seen you on Facebook, Ruthless Goat, so I'm kind of suspicious about whether you've been put in Facebook jail again. Yeah, it's really weird. He puts up, occasionally he'll put up weather posts, and for some reason, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're weather posts. They'll have, weather service stuff on it. It'll might even quote the weather service in there, whatever. And he gets nailed by Facebook and put into Facebook jail for putting up, I don't know, is it fake information or something along those lines?
For
It's just
what?
yeah, it's the algorithms have his number. It's bizarre. So I hope that's not the case. Ruthless. I hope everything is all right. Welcome to everybody on the chat board tonight. Welcome to everyone who's watching tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show. We're on Sundays at 11 a.m. and weeknights, most weeknights, at 7:30 Eastern Time, unless Joe is hobnobbing at some library someplace. Um, Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you could get notifications on the Joe and Joe Show, so that you can catch every show or catch any show, whatever you'd like to do. So go ahead and do that if you haven't already. And by the way, if you go to the community page on YouTube, you can access my weather posts there, and they kind of match up with the videos. So you have two things going on at once. So David Fuller hitting Super Chat. How's the weather looking for tomorrow in Orlando, he asks. My wife and I are driving from Palm Beach to Disney and then back at night to Palm Beach. All right, we'll take a look. Give me a few minutes, Dave. We'll take a look and see what's going on. Meanwhile, you're getting ready for the heat and humidity. I got to 84 today, and Atlanta I think broke 90 for the first time. I think it was the first time this season, but I only got to 84. A beautiful day, lots of sun, just a few passing clouds. It was nice.
Yes, and well, we'll see. We'll see how things go. I'm thinking temperatures on tomorrow. No, excuse me. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow, Saturday.
Saturday.
God, I'm going crazy here.
The hot
91 to 96 on Saturday. That's what I'm going for here in the lower Hudson Valley. So
I think places
yes.
around like Trenton, Philadelphia, those places there. That's I think where the hottest temperatures will probably be. And so I wouldn't be shocked if somebody pops up with a 97 or a 98. I don't want to go three digits yet. I want to see how.
Please don't go.
I'm not going to go three digits yet. I promise.
It's a little too early in the game for that kind of stuff. 90, yes, but that kind of heat. That's not my cup of tea.
No, I would imagine that it isn't. So David, I just gave it a quick look. So there are going to be there's a little disturbance that's coming up from the northwest Caribbean that's moving northward, and there might be some showers and downpours at some point during the day tomorrow, moving from south to north over the state of Florida. So I think you may have to contend with that. So just giving you the heads up. But there's no cold front, so it's not as if you're going to be dealing with severe weather. But there are going to be some showers around.
You talked about the big switch in the pattern, and I'm not too pleased with this pattern because I'm supposed to be going out to Arizona, and they've got this thing that's suddenly coming down from the Pacific, this closed system. It's like a four contour cutoff that's going to be like right over Arizona, right about the time that I'm supposed to be there.
Naturally.
I mean,
naturally.
Of
course. It's only natural that should happen. You could have picked any other.
Well,
this meteor shower could have arranged its schedule such that it could have been any other time during this, multi-month or however long this drought that's been going on out there with the lack of rain. And
I told a friend of mine out there.
The right weekend.
I said, tell the governor Rayo is coming, in terms of severe drought, and we need rain, and we all need. I said, just tell him I'm coming. I'm always seem to. Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. You've been fighting clouds all day?
Been kind of a strange day up here. We had clouds, we've had rain, we just had a shower just a few moments ago.
Really?
Meantime, I was watching the Met game. I have clouds, I have some showers scattered about, and meantime at Citi Field, bright and sunny.
Yeah, so I could see. I just looked at the satellite loop, which I'll bring up in a second. I could see the cloud line is already past. Looks like it's mostly past New York City, so you should be cleaning house shortly. Tomorrow, I'm thinking the southeast wind or south wind is going to keep temperatures along the New Jersey coast, southeastern New York, Long Island, coastal Connecticut, southeastern New England about 10 or more degrees cooler than everybody else. But you just go inland, that wind's not going to make much of a difference, and you could probably see upper 80s and low 90s, especially in interior southern New Jersey, southeastern PA, south central PA, down into Maryland. It could be low 90s in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area. Saturday looks like the hottest of the 3 days from what I saw. Sunday, with that front taking forever now to get through, I don't see what's to stop temperatures from getting back above 90 again.
Agreed. I've got on average a temperature of 91 for Sunday. The real cool down does not come until the beginning of next week on Monday.
Yes, correct. Then
Yeah,
does the
yeah.
does the front get hung up? That's the other question I probably would wonder about. And then beyond that, we'll probably have a couple of decent days. It looks like there's some kind of stronger cold front at toward the end of the week, maybe on Friday. And then I was pretty confident that the weekend was going to be decent for the Memorial Day holiday weekend. Now I'm not so sure because of all the model mayhem that's going on. Why don't we let's go to the satellite loop tonight and take a look at what's happening. There's uh, that clearing line, as I said, has made progress. Now it's just north and east of New York City. You should be clearing out shortly, Joe, if you haven't already. But those clouds are moving quickly to the east. There's some blow up of thunderstorms. There's two. I love, SPC. I have to tell you, I'm impressed by them the way they split up the severe weather risk areas, how they've been doing it this year, and I didn't notice it so much last year, but this year maybe it's because the pattern allows them to do this. But where there's a general area of severe weather, and then they split up the slight risk zones. And sure enough, most of the thunderstorms are concentrated in each separate zone, and then there's this sort of hole in the middle. That's good forecasting. That is, especially when it comes to severe weather, that is good forecasting.
Indeed. Tomorrow, it looks like we are right on the, well, it's not specifically in our area, but there's a marginal risk just south and west of New York City tomorrow. There is, and it's a funny thing. Now, on the day of heat, on Saturday, with temperatures in the 90s, we're even out of the general thunderstorm coverage area. So it looks like it will be a hot, dry Saturday coming up. And then when we get to Sunday, well, on the extended forecast for day 4, they have the zone of possible severe weather just to our north and west
Right,
on Sunday.
which makes sense. Which makes sense because of the fact that the front is going to be just going to be slow. Uh,
Right.
it's not like the front's going to be on top of the coast by evening. It's well inland. By the way, I'm looking at the dew point map. I just have the dew point map up for Saturday, and at least on Long Island. Now this is probably because of sea breezes. I pulled up the dew point. Actually, that's 6 a.m. That's a little too early. Let me go to let's go a little later in the day. That's 5 p.m. is a little too late, so 2 p.m. would be good. So I'm looking at the dew points at 2 in the afternoon, and it's going to be uncomfortable, Joe. You've got temperatures that are going to be up in the low and mid 90s. The dew points are in the mid 60s. I mean, and this is because of the fact that tomorrow with the south-southeast wind, that lower layer of the atmosphere is going to pick up a little bit of ocean moisture, and where's that going to go? It's not going to go away, but because usually in May, and oftentimes the way heat sets up in May, it's usually dry. You usually have dew points in a situation like this. You'd probably see dew points well down into the 50s, maybe even into the upper 40s. But not this time around because of this is more of a this is a type of air setup that you would see maybe in later July, August, maybe sometimes in early July, even early July. But July, this is more of a July August type setup than it is a May setup for heat.
Yes, and thank you, Paul Roman, for hitting super chats. He says, "Here's to good forecasters, the Joes,"
Thank
and
you.
they also have a diamond next to Joe. So yes,
Very
that's very
nice.
very nice. Thank you.
Those cute little emojis. Now Sunday,
Yes.
just looking at the dew points on Sunday at 2 p.m. So let's take a look at those, and we'll let the map load. Now the dew points on Sunday are about the same. They're middle to upper 60s, even some upper 60s dew points showing up in parts of southeastern PA. So the atmosphere is fairly juiced up. The problem, the issue, is the fact that the cold front's not going to be close enough to. I don't even think. I don't think it'll be close enough. Maybe there might be an isolated shower, the renegade shower or thunderstorm that pops out well ahead of that front. But most of the thunderstorms are going to be inland, well inland on Sunday.
And by the way, you were talking about the Memorial Day holiday weekend. Just taking a peek at the Climate Prediction Center, they actually have near normal precipitation for the period from May 27th to June 2nd. But more interestingly, in reading their text, their discussion, their prognostic discussion for 8 to 14 days out, which includes the Memorial Day weekend, the forecast confidence for that period, Joe, 8 to 14 days from now, 2 out of a possible 5, due to the potential for a significant pattern change during that period and associated substantial model disagreements. So significant and substantial coming into the verb here to describe the long range outlook for 2 weeks from now. Substantial model disagreement and significant pattern changes. So I guess we'll just have to sit back, wait, and see what the end of May has in store for us.
Yeah, I saw a tweet today from Dr. Judah Cohen talking about a major stratospheric warming event that's going on, and but there's no polar vortex to disrupt, but there's still a stratospheric warming event going on way up north. Now, I'm kind of be curious to see what that actually means from a practical standpoint. Down at the bottom of the atmosphere when we get into. So here we are. What is it? Today's the 18th, the 19th, or the 19th. So let's give it a couple of weeks. It'll be interesting to see what that means when we get into the month of June. I can tell you, by the way, that I pulled up the NAO teleconnections today, and we are positive. Actually, we've been positive for since about since about May 7th. We've been mostly positive, not by a lot. We're going into a mode here this weekend where the NAO is climbing more positive, peaks at about 1.5 standard deviations, and then it starts to slope downward, getting toward the neutral line about June 1st. All the members are sloping down. There were a couple of them that go negative before the month is over, right around the Memorial Day weekend, which might explain why the GFS is doing what it's doing. But the rest of them, the vast majority of them, are staying above the neutral line. So I would think if there's going to be a problem, if the NAO, if we start to see that NAO in the next couple of days start to trend more negative, that would not bode well for the Memorial Day holiday weekend. If it stays positive, I think we won't have a 3-day washout, but we might lose a day, depending on how systems time. I don't think there's anything controversial about me saying that.
Well, it shows that on what you just put up on the screen here, that on the index it stays above zero.
Yes.
At least through June 1st. So I guess that, in a way, that's positive. I mean, a few members are going below the zero mark as soon as let's say about the 20th or 25th of May, but the majority are staying above. So that's maybe something to hang our hat on.
Yep. All right. On the radar tonight, there's some activity going on. Actually, I could actually see the shower you had. It's on the radar, Joe. I can see it. There's some showers in down East Maine, and some moving out of Vermont and into New Hampshire at the moment. There are some thunderstorms and a couple of severe weather warnings. Two in western North Carolina and 2 in western Virginia, and part of that, one of them is into Tennessee. It is busier though a little bit further to the west. Where we've got a number of severe. We actually had 2 tornado warnings which have expired right over St. Louis, apparently. So to check that out. And we've got 3 working severe thunderstorm warnings on the Illinois side. 1 in Indiana, 2 in Indiana becomes 1. And excuse me, sorry about that. I had to sneeze. And 1 that's
Bless
on
you,
the. Thank you so much. On the Kentucky side. Meanwhile, there's another area of severe weather that is going to be playing tonight and already is in southeastern Minnesota. There's some rather impressive cells there and into northwestern Wisconsin. And there were a few severe thunderstorm warnings with that. There is some activity in the form of some rain and some heavier downpours in parts of North Dakota and northeastern North Dakota, northwestern Minnesota. Down another patch that's moving into South Dakota out of Nebraska. We've got a bit of a mess to the west of that with some precip up in Montana. Some of that in the higher elevations in the form of snow, also in Wyoming, and some scattered showers in Washington State. Let me just check a couple of things here. So let's go to weather.gov and see what we have to show here as far as watches, warnings, and advisories. And actually, we do have a few counties in Wyoming and in western Nebraska under winter weather advisories, a couple even in Colorado. I think those are winter weather advisories. It's a light purple. Oh, no, that's a hard freeze warning, I don't know. In the meantime, let me just double check this. I should check these things. We've got a huge area of red flag warnings up. Those are actually, I can't, you know what? The color is so similar. I think it's a hard freeze watch, but it's so similar to the winter weather advisory. I mean, I know there are only so many colors that they can put up, but us guys don't see colors in the same way ladies do. I was having a conversation about this with someone recently. No, it's a winter weather advisory. Women see colors a lot in much more detail than men do. I didn't know that. In Wyoming, we've got winter storm warnings and high wind warnings up for parts of central Montana. A few winter weather advisories in parts of Idaho. Got some action going on with red flag warnings up in the northern half of California and the inland areas. And let me just check to see because it looks like a winter weather advisory color, but I'm not sure. So let me just pull up a forecast here. And those are actually frost advisories. Okay, we really don't get into frost advisories on the Joe and Joe Weather Show. The Storm Prediction Center, there's your two areas here. We've got a working tornado watch and a working severe thunderstorm watch. And you see the enhanced area of severe weather that's being indicated in southeastern Missouri and going east into southern Indiana. And, of course, they already had the first round of severe weather, and now it looks like a second round is coming east in the area of the tornado watch that's to the west of that covers southern Missouri and north, just right along the border of Arkansas. We also have an enhanced risk for the area that's moving out of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Now, as you said, for tomorrow, and I just saw an update that they think they updated the day 4. So tomorrow, Joe, they've got a marginal risk of severe weather for southeastern and south central Pennsylvania into
south and west of our area.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they have that, because I didn't really mention anything for tomorrow, especially with the southeast wind. But hey, could be. Slight risk for Michigan. Slight risk for south central Oklahoma and a small portion of north central Texas, with a marginal risk in between. Day 3, they bring the marginal risk western Maine, northern Vermont, New Hampshire, western New York, western Ohio through Indiana, southeastern Michigan, most of Illinois, half of Missouri, into Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Now, they added a severe weather area for day 4, so that'll be Sunday into Monday. And, yeah, Joe, they have a 15% or slight risk indicated on day 4 now, but it's way north and west of the coast. I would say Albany is probably in it, Buffalo, Rochester, northern Pennsylvania, much of upstate New York except, say, south of Albany, and most of Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and the northwestern half of Maine.
And, Joe, the Mets, who, by the way, took their third game out of 4 from the St. Louis Cardinals today, are now probably boarding. It may, for all intents and purposes, they're probably either up in the air right now. They are going to be flying to Denver to play the Colorado Rockies, although I strongly suspect they're going to have a big problem in playing that game tomorrow night, because it looks like to me that in Denver, they're going to have temperatures that are probably going to be somewhere this side of 35. And there's also, looks like, quite a bit of precipitation. There may be some rain, or maybe even rain mixing with or changing to wet snow. And of course, we know it's the Mile High City up in Denver. So this is all coming after. Excuse me. This is all coming after a spell of weather that the Mets have had on this homestand where it's been quite warm, and now all of a sudden they're going from this weather to temperatures that are really more like mid or late winter back in Colorado.
Yep. It ain't over till it's over. Rainfall from WPC. Big rains in the next 7 days in northeastern Texas, large portion of northeastern Texas, northwestern Louisiana into Arkansas, Oklahoma, and on up into parts of western Missouri and southwest Kansas on the order of several inches. We're looking at anywhere from at least along the immediate coastal plain. If you run from the Delmarva Peninsula up to coastal Maine, it's generally a tenth to a quarter, maybe in some spots a little bit more. But you go just inland in Pennsylvania, for example, and through upstate New York, there are areas of half an inch to an inch. Also down through the Carolinas into Georgia, you see the big area to the west, and Florida showing up to a few inches of rain over the next week. Kind of lightens up a little bit in the northern plains, but you see this big area here sitting right over Colorado of an inch and a half of liquid or equivalent or more in covering. Looks like it's sitting right over Denver, and it kind of tails off a bit as you head up north and west of there through the Rockies, and the rest of the Southwest is absolutely quiet. So let's run through some of the models and see what they have to say. And of course, I'm looking here, and I can see why. Now, they went for this risk area, Joe. I'm looking at the GFS. It's got something. Part of what's in Missouri and Illinois right now actually travels overnight into western PA and then moves into northeastern PA and then into southern New England. Now, they've got the risk area further south, which I think is kind of interesting. Let's see what the NAM did with this. By the way, Joe Rayo's monitoring the chat board, so if you have any questions, do share them, and we'll see if we can, if we will attempt to answer if we can. The NAM doesn't have it. The NAM does not have this. It has the area coming out of Missouri. Just we're getting enough frames in here. It goes across central Indiana and then just kind of falls apart in western New York and western PA. So the NAM does not have this. And running through the rest of the NAM model, while I have it, obviously the weekend's a no-brainer. You know, the forecast for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday otherwise is a no-brainer in terms of what's going to happen. And Sunday, here's your cold front, which by Sunday evening looks like it runs from about Burlington to Albany to Scranton, or just west of Scranton, and then curls back to about Pittsburgh with a narrow line of showers and thunderstorms with the front, at least the way the NAM shows it. And then it just kind of goes by, and we only goes to 2 a.m. on Monday. The GFS, which has been hanging the front back, now it's got. And here's another thing with regards to the timing. So at the GFS is a little more northwest, showing those showers and thunderstorms, kind of with how SPC's got that risk area set up. And then, by the way, they extend all the way down through the interior southeast and into Mississippi and Alabama, with the next high sitting near Chicago. This is Sunday evening. So a lot of that stuff that forms in upstate New York is going to weaken before it even gets to the coast. So looks like most of our area gets not much of anything. And it's backed off. I mean, the European was not really bullish on the idea of the front getting it got it hung up, but it didn't really do anything with it. And now the GFS is doing the same thing, which means that Monday might turn out to be okay, and then Tuesday's okay. Now here comes Wednesday. We've got this next low that comes out of Texas, and that goes to our west. And now, of course, here's where the GFS with its potential mess for the Memorial Day weekend. Why? Because, and it's the only model doing this, Joe, it's got some kind of cutoff that it drops down into Oklahoma and then just sort of moves it east-northeast and then gradually weakens it in the Ohio Valley. None of the other models have this.
Yeah. Oh, well, once again, you wish, you hope that all of the models are on the same page, Someday that may happen, but for the moment, it's not. By the way, Joe, just I mentioned I just alluded to the weather in Denver as the Mets are heading there to play a series with the Colorado Rockies. I want to let all of you know that at this hour, as I speak to you right now, at Denver Centennial Airport, the temperature right now at Denver Airport is 86 degrees. The dew point is 23. The winds are west at 25, gusting to 43. And the official National Weather Service forecast for the Denver area tonight, a 30% chance of rain, winds north 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to over 40, as high as 47 miles per hour. Low temperature tonight, 40. Remember, I just told you it's in the 80s right now. Tomorrow, rain before 4 p.m., then rain and snow. Temperature falling to 34 by 5 p.m.
Oh God.
Chance of precip 100%. New snow accumulation. It's 86 right now, for God's sake. New snow accumulation of less than a half inch possible. Tomorrow night, rain and snow, becoming all snow after 11 p.m. Snow could be heavy at times. Low 29, and awaiting you on Saturday morning, new snow accumulations of 3 to 5 inches.
Well, I pulled up the GFS for the Southwest, and yeah, there's a low is pulling out of eastern Colorado. They always get these mega lows that don't have a lot of precip with them. But yeah, that low pulls out. They get into the east northeast wind, so you get that upslope there. Yep, there's the dark blue snow. Friday night. There's for the date for May 20th. That's a fairly large area of snow that's being generated by the model there. A lot of upslope
Crazy.
going on.
It's crazy.
And then it gradually tapers off on Saturday. By the way, I was looking at going through the Memorial Day weekend. I had the upper air up there, and I was playing with it. It looks like there's no cutoff dropping in over the Memorial Day weekend. Is that the time frame that you're headed out there?
I'm going to be out. We're leaving on Tuesday, and we'll be there. We will be there during the moment. I'm going to be at the Grand Canyon.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to be on the north slope of the Grand Canyon, the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Please don't tell me you think it's going to snow up there, because if it snows, they close the Grand Canyon. That's
Don't let Billy. I hope Billy the kid's not watching the show, because he's probably going to worry about whether you might fall in, because they don't have guardrails over there. You know what an optimistic person he tends to be.
Yes.
Oh, good Lord. So how about we do a little Brillo Jeopardy tonight and finish off this week on a positive note. Oh, Chuck Cardillo blessed me.
By the way, just
sneezing.
before we get into Brillo Jeopardy, I'm looking at the Ensemble, the brand new and improved European Ensemble.
Yes.
And I'm looking at
would you like to show it on the screen?
Sure, why not?
The video is.
You've disabled me. You disabled me, Joe.
Well, I've now enabled you.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm an enabler. So you can go ahead.
By the way, I wasn't even aware of this until recently, because they always are talking about. For example, they said Jacob deGrom or Max Scherzer, the two top Met pitchers, they're on the IL. I said, what is the IL? What are they talking about, the IL? All our lives, Joe, we have been talking about, the disabled list.
DL.
That's what it was called. It was the DL.
List.
The DL. Not anymore. I guess now.
Now it's the injured list.
Yeah, the injured list.
Right,
that's what they call it now. Nobody's disabled anymore. Now they're injured.
Somebody must have called and complained.
I'm sure. So look, I just told you, you've disabled the ability to share, and now you've enabled me.
Right.
So we can't use that term anymore, Joe. We can't say disabled. I mean, it's just that's the way it is.
I don't see anybody complaining. On the other hand, I'm enabling you, which means I'm responsible for your actions. I'm the reason that you're doing what you're perpetrating, whatever evil you're about to perpetrate. So go ahead.
So Memorial Day weekend, getaway day, I guess, is what, May 27th? Friday, May 27th. And you see that we have a nice big ridge out in the western United States and a shortwave trough. Now, this is the ensemble. This is not the operational European. This is the ensemble European, which they apparently just, at least on Tropical Tidbits, they've provided new and improved functions here. So you've got this shortwave moving across the eastern Great Lakes into the northeast as the holiday begins. And then notice, if you will, that big, beautiful ridge out west shrivels up and it propagates to the central United States, so that by the time we get to Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, this would be Sunday at 8 p.m. Look at this now. We're in a northwesterly flow, a lovely northwesterly flow, big ridge over the central part of the nation, and now we have this trough that's over the western U.S., replacing the ridge that was out there just a few days before. And as far as did they allow for precip and moisture?
Yes, he
Not
does for the European. Yes, he added all that. Levi added all that stuff in a couple of days ago.
So we got 24-hour accumulated precipitation, and it shows virtually the entire country, for God's sake, in getting accumulated precipitation. The only place where it's not getting it is out here in Arizona and Southern California. I will be in Arizona, but I still don't like the look of this because whether or not it stays dry, the thing I want is no cloud cover. And believe me, if you're surrounded all the way around here by all this precipitation, what can I say, Joe?
Yeah.
It looks like I don't know what it looks. I don't know what it looks like.
Well, if you're going to break the drought in the Southwest, then they should give you some kind of fickle finger or fate award or something.
It's like that character in Little Abner, Joe Bissell.
Yes.
You know,
Birder Lady
put the
wants
rain cloud over his head.
Birder Lady would like to know if your presentation on the meteor shower is available somewhere on the net or on YouTube, because she would like to watch it tonight.
Yes, several libraries have recorded it, and in fact, I know of one in particular. So maybe I can put this on the chat board before we. But you got Brillo Jeopardy now, right? So I guess this is my turn tonight.
Yes. Well, can't you mention the library?
I forgot the name. I've got, like I said, there's so many. No, I swear to you, I've done so many of these, and they all have recorded them. It's just that I just don't know what's available right now. I mean, I did a library an hour ago, and they recorded it. They'll put it on Facebook. It was in Connecticut. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting to get to my email, because I did email that URL to somebody just yesterday or the day before. So as soon as I get it, I'll make a copy of it and I'll put it on the chat board so that everybody else can see it. So
all right. Okay. So in the meantime, let's. This is Briller Jeopardy. The question tonight is we're going to 2005, Joe. 2005. A record 5 systems in 2005 in the Atlantic Basin were retired. How many of these can you name? Now I'll tell you. I will help you with this. Okay. The letters are K, D, R, S, W. And we're not playing Wheel of Fortune, so you don't have to buy a vowel.
The K storm and the W storm. The K storm has to be Katrina.
Right.
And the W has to be Wilma.
Right.
Right.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
And what were the other letters?
D, R, and S.
D, R,
and S.
Well, the R storm has to be the R storm just has to be Roscoe.
Roscoe.
You remember Hurricane Roscoe? You remember Roscoe, right?
No.
I don't know the R storm. What could that possibly be? I'm not really sure.
Hayworth, Moreno, Coolidge.
Are you naming presidents now?
I don't think we've had a President Hayworth or a President Moreno, or we haven't had a President Coolidge. No, I'm giving you last names. Hayworth,
Oh,
Coolidge.
Calvin.
It's
Calvin.
an R storm. Okay.
It's an R storm.
R storm
So what
R
would possibly start
R
R
storm
Coolidge?
R storm female. Okay. And I'm giving you hints on that name. It's Hayworth, Moreno, and Coolidge. One of them is a singer. One of them is an Oscar winner, and the other one was married to Orson Welles.
Rita,
Rita.
right?
Okay, took you long enough. Now to the S
Thank
storm.
you.
Yes, you're welcome. Now the S storm, and I'll give
And
you
what?
I'll give you a hint with this. Um, I want to give you a hint. I know you're going to get this right away. Laurel.
And what was the letter?
S.
Laurel.
Laurel.
Oh, Stan.
Stan. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I had said Getzelman, you
I
would
didn't.
have gotten it right
I.
away. But
I don't remember. I don't remember a Hurricane Stan.
yeah, I do remember
Nor.
the name. I don't remember where it impacted though.
Oh, and the last one was what?
The last one was Stan. The other one was Wilma. You named Katrina and Wilma, so it was Dennis. Oh,
Right, but I mean,
The D storm. I forgot the D storm. I just gave it away. I don't know if you heard it. The
oh,
D
Dennis.
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 Dennis,
Ah,
there's some
yes,
lovely
Dennis.
filth over here.
uh, there's there. By the way, if you want to see the library that has the Zoom of my talk, the recording, there it is. I just put it on the chat board, so just make a copy of that. I know it's convoluted looking, but supposedly it does work. So
All right,
there you go.
you're doing good. So, let's try to think. Is there anything else I wanted to bring up? No, I didn't really see anything controversial to talk about. I didn't see any. Oh, no, that's not even worth mentioning. So, I'm done. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, we're
Good
done.
night for me. Good
So,
night for me. It's my favorite show is on tonight at 10 o'clock.
which is?
Bull.
Oh, Bull. Okay.
I love Bull.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch a little
I'm so sick.
Turner Classic before I go to bed.
Yes. Well, say hello to JJ for us.
Yeah, he's here. I did see. I didn't go see the dogs, by the way, at the shelter. Herbie and Daisy May. I'm trying to let the feeling of getting a second dog pass because having one dog is a lot of work, and I don't you know I don't know if I want the extra work and the extra responsibility and the extra cost. CoinPig says Hurricane Stan was a relatively weak but deadly tropical cyclone that affected areas of Central America and Mexico in early October 2005.
Right.
All right. Thank you,
So it
sir.
wasn't one of these. It wasn't one of these Category 5 storms. It just did a heck of a lot of damage and cost a lot of money, and that's probably why they said, "All right, time for Stan to go."
Yep. All right. Leon Probitsky hitting super chat now also. Thank you, Leon. Most appreciated. He's got the what looks like a
Peter
moose.
Potamus.
Oh, Peter Potamus. Is that what that is?
I think it looks to me like Peter
Peter
Potamus.
Potamus. Uh,
Oh.
and So-So, right? It was So-So?
And so.
So-So,
Yes.
yes. Okay.
I wasn't really into Peter
No, he
Potamus.
wasn't. Magilla
McGilligan.
Gorilla. I wasn't into Magilla Gorilla and Peter Potamus. And I think there was one other that was part of that genre in those cartoons. I really didn't care for them. They weren't. They didn't do much for me. So Snagglepuss. I was thinking of Snagglepuss yesterday for some reason. Oh, because I saw the pic
Yeah.
with the mountain lion or the bobcat or whatever it was that we had. So Anyway, JJ was just growling a little while ago, sort of this low moan growl that he does when he's half asleep and doesn't want to get up. But that's the same growl he did when he woke me up when the bear was here. But I didn't look outside to see anything, and he stopped growling and he didn't bark. So I'm assuming that he just heard some, renegade sound, and that was it. So Sunday at 11 a.m. is the next Joe and Joe weather show. So do tune
We will
in.
be here.
We will be here with bells on, and we'll be looking ahead to next week and the Memorial Day holiday weekend,
Pre-
and whatever other
prediction.
shenanigans happen to be in play.
Prediction at 11 o'clock on Sunday, we'll be looking at the return of that tropical system in the Gulf on
Yeah,
the GFS.
exactly. No doubt, no doubt. All right,
Yes,
folks, have
yes.
a great night and a great weekend. Stay cool, because you're going to be using your air conditioning, and with the cost of energy these days, well, it's going to cost you for sure. So have a great night, great weekend.
Wow.
See you on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Nighty night, everybody.